Sometimes, some places you just know will be epic. And you can't hope for much less from a place known to the West as the Moon City. It is by far the longest journey I will make, a distance of 4,023 kilometers. But like all true travelers will tell you, the fun and adventure is in the journey. My journey to the rooftop of the world starts from the Great Plains of India, as the locals fondly call it. Alipurduar, once the gateway to the Himalayas, is my entry point to begin my epic journey. We're here at the Rajdhani train station to make our way to New Delhi, and thus we begin the first day of our journey. It's extremely hot. But hey, we are travelers and that's what we do. So, wish us luck. One advantage of traveling by train is you get to witness all the places you pass through. And I will be passing through the Indian states of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. And these places are way bigger than all of my country put together. For a man who comes from the mountains, the plains of India seems to go on forever, and there is never a moment when you half expect or hope to see a tiny hill at the least. It's a breath of fresh air to be zooming through the plains. The Great Plains are relentless and opens up in front of you for miles and miles ahead. I've traveled in trains before, but traveling in an Indian train is a whole new experience. You either embrace the ride or ignore it altogether, but be prepared to have a ride of a lifetime. One moment, you're astonished at the number of people and the noise caused and hurled at each other. And the other moment, staring out the window, you get lost in India's bountiful landscapes, quaint villages, farms, and not to mention the radiant sunset. Yet, all of a sudden, your reverie is rudely broken by a hawker or a kid looking to make a quick buck. But after 3 days of traveling, the people you shared the compartment with become family, and the train your home. What was strange in the beginning becomes your comfort zone, and you hesitate to step out. But step out you must, and I stepped out in style, right into the heart of India, its capital city, Delhi. In the heart of New Delhi, just got off the train station, and immediately you are attacked with a swarm of taxi drivers who wants to just cheat you because they see new faces. But I think that's one of the charms of India. You have to know these things when you come to India, and it's just, although it's an ugly thing, it has become this beauty of the charm of India, really. So it's exciting. It's an adventure. You have to look out for yourself. If you don't look out for yourself, you're robbed. you're robbed literally in front of your eyes, and it's a lesson learned if it happens to anybody. Luckily, I'm here with my crew, and we know. Delhi holds a population of more than 16 million people. It is one of the most populous cities in India. But I'm not looking for cities, and I'm not going to lose sight of my ultimate destination, as Ladakh rings very loudly in my heart. Today, we embark on a real journey as we wind our way up the Grand Trunk Road towards Manali in Himachal Pradesh. This route is said to have existed from the 3rd century. It is supposed to extend all the way through the Khyber Pass to Afghanistan. It was later upgraded as the Grand Trunk Road and used by the British East Indian Company. The Grand Trunk Road starts from Chittagong in Bangladesh and ends all the way in Kabul, Afghanistan. Along this historic route, not a moment is a bore as we pass by lush, fertile lands of Punjab and industrious Indian people giving carpooling a whole new meaning. After a few hours of traveling, we leave behind the last of the plains, and I can finally see the Great Plains giving way to higher elevation as temperature drops and small yet promising hills begin to rise out of the plains. Our trip it's just started, and so far it's been wonderful. We have our wonderful film crew over here. There's the sound man and the cameraman. They're probably dying of heat, but I'm sure they're just as relieved as I am with this cool mountain air. These places that we're driving, zooming through, is so new to us. But like I said before, there's still that little sense of familiarity because of the mountains, because of the curvy roads. I mean, we're so familiar with that, like it almost seems homely, I wake up to a fragrant and glorious morning in Manali. As apples and pine trees form a heady mix of fragrance and sight that beckons me to venture out. I don't know where we're going. I think we're going towards Old Manali. Should be some surprise in store for us. Manali, known as the Valley of Gods, is a delightful little town in Kulu. The first settlers of Manali were simple shepherds from Kangra Valley. Apples were first introduced by the British, and it was one of the main sources of income for the locals. Now, however, tourism has boomed in Manali, and it is a favorite hill station destination for many. Here in Old Manali, and there's a lot of stalls where they're selling, hippie clothing, and everything is funky. I'm becoming funky myself, so this is insane. This is the type of place where you see a lot of foreigners, come and enjoy, and this is such a what wonderful opportunity for me to see this this type of place. I almost feel like this is the residue of the hippie movement in the 1960s, and you know, you could definitely feel the aura from this particular place, especially here in Manali, old Manali, and this is beautiful, man.
फोटो अच्छा आएगा, कुछ नहीं करेगा, काटेगा नहीं, सीट पकड़ के जाना पड़ेगा रे। My friend, hello, my friend.
We are driving up to Solong Nala, which is 14 kilometers from Manali. Solong means nearby and Nala means water stream. But that's not the reason we are driving up. Solong Nala is a huge tourist attraction for its varieties of winter sport. And we, my friend, are going to fly. I just entered the lift. I don't know how high we're gonna be going up, but you know, looking from outside, it looks pretty high. I'm gonna try paragliding for the first time in my life. That's not my voice shaking. This is just the lift shaking, so it sounds like I'm scared. I am a little bit scared, you know. I think it's the fear that really, you know, that's the adrenaline, really. So I mean, we're here to feel the adrenaline, and here we go. Ding ding, dig dig. Just check out the valley down there. Check it out. Look at that. This is that's where I'll be jumping off with my instructor, of course, because if I jumped off by myself, I wouldn't have any idea. I don't know how high I am. We're probably at least 4,000 meters. This is truly beautiful. Ah, for me.
Where are you from?
From Bhutan.
Bhutan.
Yes. You're local here?
Yeah.
Ah.
You come in first time here?
First time here. This is very similar to Bhutan. We also have huge mountains like this. This is paragliding here in Solong Nala, here in Manali, and this is my first time ever paragliding, and this is amazing. And this is my guide here. What's your name? Morsheng, and he will take care of me. The view is amazing. This is insane. Ride lasts total about maybe 15 minutes. When you're up here, you lose the sense of time. I don't know how long we've been up here, but this is amazing. So that was an amazing, amazing experience. I just experienced paragliding here in Solong Valley, and it's been such a beautiful, beautiful experience. You know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime moment. We don't have such things in Bhutan, and you know, I'm such a lucky person that I got to experience this. I will cherish this forever in my life, as the thrills, the adventure of it is amazing. My heart is still beating when you're up there in the air. Tears are coming out of my eyes. I mean, I didn't know what to do. Laugh, cry, but you know what? Amazing, fantastic experience, and I recommend anyone who comes here in Solong Valley to experience this in their lifetime, because it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. You know what they say, you have to live your life in the edge sometimes, and that's when you know the true value of life. And you know what? The adrenaline is still pumping in me. I mean, my hands are probably shaking, my heart is beating. Just a beautiful, beautiful experience. Nothing can quite calm your spirits as nature can. And these formidable mountains, rising out of the earth, has indeed grounded me after my flying experience. And I am truly humbled, although adrenaline still rushes through my veins. So we've just reached Rothong Pass, which is more than 3,980 meters above sea level, and we just stopped over to just have a cup of tea just to warm ourselves up, because it's really, really cold here. And just describing the pass, it's gorgeous, it's amazing, it's incredible. And this is one of the first passes that we're going to be passing towards our way to Ladakh, and I can't wait for more passes that we're going to be passing, and this is truly, truly magical. As we make our way to our destination for the night in Sarchu, meaning Gold Drop, we pass by some amazing valleys of Spiti and Haul. Resembling Bhutan, the people here mainly practice Buddhism, and fittingly, it is also called the land of the lamas. So I'm here at a place called Sisu, a popular tourist destination, mainly for bikers who like to bike all the way to Leh. They stop over here, have some breakfast, maybe some lunch, a little snack. I stopped over here and I had my breakfast. I had a beautiful, beautiful breakfast, some paratha and some masala omelette, and I'm filled to the brim. But more importantly than that, it's the scenery over here. It's the place, how it looks. It is an amazing place. And right across the river, and I'm staring at it right now, is a gorgeous waterfall. And this waterfall is believed to be blessed by our guardian deity, Pelden Hamo, which makes this place a very sacred place. So I feel quite blessed to have been here and enjoy the scenery and take in whatever this beautiful landscape has to offer. And it's an amazing, amazing thing. I'm quite speechless as to even describe how this place, words can't describe this place. You just have to witness it for yourself. It's just amazing.
Heavy snowfall blocked the Rothung Pass in the winter and completely seal off this region from the outside world for 6 months every year.
Windy and it's gonna be cold right at night, so it's like a freezing.
The people of this region are of Tibetan and Indo-Aryan race. They live off the earth with agriculture as their main livelihood. The villages of Keelong and Kardong are surrounded by Drukpa Gonpas, religious sites, high mountain passes, traditions, and a strong sense of one's rich heritage. The extent of our travel really begins to sink in as the landscape and vegetation completely differs from our starting point. The few remaining hours of travel feels like watching a movie or a screensaver of changing vegetation. Big trees give way to smaller shrubs as we ascend higher into what is the highest desert in India. But nothing is permanent, and even these formidable mountains need to give way to something even higher as the landscape changes yet again. Caramel-colored sand mountains seems to stretch on forever, only to be interrupted by incredible lakes of vibrant blue every once in a while. I can't imagine of any creature to survive here, but the snow leopard and the Himalayan blue sheep make their homes in these unforgiving yet extraordinary mountains.
Like on top of the world once again, and I'm here at the Barlachala Pass, which is more than 4,800 meters above sea level. It's so cold up here, my lips are cracking. One thing to remember is to always drink water. Most people who are traveling through this pass, they usually suffer altitude sickness. Luckily, I don't have any symptoms of those, but still, always drink water. But the view of Barlachala Pass is an amazing, amazing thing. You can see the stretch as far as the eye can see. I mean, you could also see the glaciers. It's an amazing, amazing pass, and I am very, very lucky that I get to pass through one of the, what seems like what's on top of the world, and this is amazing. So it's a cold, frigid morning here in Sarchu, but a wonderful, frigid morning here in Sarchu because the scenery is just breathtaking. And I had a wonderful stay here at Gold Drop Adventure as they have tents set up for their guests, and inside it's amazing. They have beds set up, it's warm, and you know, I couldn't thank them more because it was a comfortable stay. And today is an interesting day because today is my day to travel to Leh, and this journey is going to be very, very interesting because I'll be passing 3 passes, and one of those passes is the second highest passes in the world. And once again, I will be literally on top of the world, and this is going to be amazing. I can't wait for it. It was amazing, definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Wish you all the best. And wish you
Definitely.
very, very happy journey. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
After traveling for 10 hours every day for almost a week, I can't wait for this last leg of the journey to be over. But there is fun still to be had as we travel through one of the most breathtaking landscapes in the world. It is said that millions of years ago, Ladakh was covered by an extensive lake system, most probably the vast Scythian Ocean, which is said to have covered the whole of the Himalayas. Then, 45 million years ago, the collision of the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate led to the formation of these mountain ranges and the mighty Himalayas. This is the only road that connects Ladakh to the rest of the world. As we pass through one of the highest motorable roads in the world, an envy for any and all road trippers, a small seed of accomplishment gets planted in my heart.
So I stand here at Taglangla, the second highest motorable pass in the world. And this pass stands at more than 5,300 meters above sea level. And right on this sign it says, "You're passing through second highest pass of the world." Unbelievable, is it not? And it is unbelievable. And the view is amazing. You know, surprisingly, it's not very cold. It's not that cold. I expected it to be very, very cold. There's a little bit of snow coming, but it's nice here. You know, I'm standing at more than 5,300 meters, and you know, we're on top of the world. What more do you want? This is amazing. It is unbelievable, is it not? Yes, it is.
Finally, with a breath of relief, I am in Ladakh, and it is unreal. Not only because of its natural beauty, but also because of the sheer amount of time it took us to get here. But it couldn't be any better. It is like stepping into a land before time. Buddhism came to Ladakh in the 2nd century from Kashmir, and over the years, the Drukpa lineage has grown into the chief school of thought in the region. The Drukpa lineage was founded by Tsangpa Gyaltsen Yeshe Dorji in the 11th century. Ever since its foundation, Drukpa Kagyu has flourished in the Himalayan region of Tibet, Bhutan, and Ladakh. In this attempt to preserve and strengthen this great lineage, an annual Drukpa Council was started in 2009 by His Holiness, the 12th Gelwang Drukpa, Jigme Pema Wangchen. This year, the 5th annual Drukpa Council is being held here in the Hemis Monastery. It is where the great master Naropa and Tilopa met, and together they made this monastery the main seat of Kaju lineage. Hemis Monastery has been standing here before the 11th century. It was re-established by King Sangye Namgyal in 1672. Thousands of devotees and curious people like myself have gathered in this historic monastery to witness the coming together of the dragon yogis and yoginis from all over the world.
Any society thrives and prospers on interaction, without losing one's value, definitely, but with interaction. In terms of spirituality, if there was no interaction, how will the Buddha Dhamma have come to Himalaya from India? Dhamma will never have come from India to Tibet and Bhutan, and it will never have come here if there's no interaction was there. So since we share a common spirituality, I think that every time a Bhutanese comes to Ladakh, I think they feel inspired that in the past Shabdru Rinpoche took so much effort. There was no plane, no car, nothing to send his spiritual messengers to come here to give teaching, and how well the king of Ladakh received and respected it. And when the Ladakhis, whenever they go to Bhutan, they tell me that the fact that how through the vision of His Majesty the Bhutanese culture and language has preserved, it inspires them to preserve their own, own culture more. So by this interaction, I think we develop appreciation actually for one's own culture, by going out. And this sort of spiritual exchange has to be maintained. Because, because firstly speaking, in this world, There are very few Buddhist countries. Before it was, I think, the Indonesia, I think Pakistan, Afghanistan. They're all Buddhist countries, Maldives. But now the Buddhist countries has left very few. And within the Buddhist, the Drupa heritage, the country that we share is very few. Now is basically Ladakh and Bhutan. So as I said earlier, if you know that it is the same river that's going through a different country, when the one dries up, sooner or later it's going to affect, another part of the country.
Inspired by Kamchu Rinpoche, I decided to visit Stakna Monastery. It is a unique monastery that shares its origin and history with Bhutan. It is located on top of a hill by the Indus River, the lifeline of Ladakhi civilization. Stakna literally means tiger's nose, as the monastery was built on a hill which looked like a tiger's nose. Built in the 16th century by our very own Bhutanese saint, Choji Jamyang Belgar, it is said that Shabdrung Namgyal was offered several places in Ladakh to establish Bhutanese enclaves. And to strengthen the relationship, Shabdrung sent Bhutanese envoys to Ladakh, and ever since, Stakna Monastery is a home for Bhutanese monks and, of course, Shabdrung Namgyal.
Quite surprising, in the main monastery, the main statue is of our Shabdrung Namgyal, and besides him are all the Stakna Rinpoches. And this just shows how much of a friendship we have with Ladakhis. In their main monastery, the main statue is of Shabdrung Namgyal, which is quite beautiful. It's just amazing. The friendship, just the friendship with Ladakhis in Bhutan is symbolized with this. So very, very beautiful. Kuzambola lebe. Na lebe gi tenla.
Nimi isil henrup selamila.
Lasla. Dina Stakna kompana godamai nala.
Inla ngana godamba inla. Ngachi dule na umdadi chachi godangba thumdadi gadimchi nosamla sosumchi yanyumela. Madokchi sagara te ngachi ya nakselna ra didi pendigina naksel chalemi be gara pokushu pachipsme ani bijebe mabara semra sosuchi be thomel. Lasla. Debrona dichi de namsami lejim katok to dula rona kachimsa ngachira chugi ge khapime wala rona tata de ani bindi.
Lasla te ngachi ate dule the gelo the lamdisu atarna lo atar jeminala.
Onla da hema beachinde ngachira da jepturumbuchi jeju de lam hema atsichi deo bombera chano bakapchile de dewa chera chesunla de banagomale de da longa de chijome ngachandi edc gi chok len chokse da andi khongi chuksimlebe da anale ngachira dugi gelu duse jenbe da ngachira dukba kagi gi temba nale bha dardu yimidi anale hago ise shunila.
Today, the main man of the house in Stagna Monastery is Stagna Truku. He's just a little boy right now, but the future has big plans for him. Small, but aware of his tremendous responsibilities, the Truku honors us by giving us his blessings. It was truly a privilege. It is astonishing to imagine that one day this little Truku will be the head of the monastery, overlooking the Indus River and the special relationship between Bhutan and Ladakh.
Stagna Gompa, or the Stagna Monastery, is a beautiful, beautiful monastery, especially for us Bhutanese, because we have so much history here. Starting from the 16th century, Shabdrung Onamgyal, he sent his representative here to Stagna, and ever since then, that tradition is still being carried on. And this monastery has a special place in our heart, especially to us the Bhutanese, because it's almost like retracing our history. And the theme of the annual Drupa Council is universal oneness. And if we could carry that throughout the whole world, we will have a very peaceful world. And this Stagna Gompa is a symbolism of that. And I'm quite blessed that I get to see Stagna Gompa and experience this religious, spiritual moment with the monks of Bhutan.
I move on further to a place called Tikse. Tikse Monastery is 5 kilometers uphill from a village called Stagmo. It is possibly the largest monastery in central Ladakh. It was founded in 1433 by a Tibetan Lama called Sangpo. It houses the largest statue of Joa Jamba, the Buddha of the future. The monastery is huge, encompassing the entire mountain. It has steep winding stairs leading you all the way up to the top. As you get closer to the top, the wind becomes stronger and the view even more breathtaking. Once at the top, the prayer flags fluttering in the wind evoke such a sense of accomplishment and serenity that I could stay here forever, but it's a bit hard to breathe.
I'm standing on top, on the roof of Tikse Monastery, and what's special about this monastery is that it's a replica of Potola in Tibet, and it's just beautiful. And the view from the rooftop is just breathtaking. On one side, you have all these green trees, fields, and on the other side is just dead desert. And this is a perfect way to see and describe Ladakh in a way, because that's what Ladakh is. On one hand, there's greenery, and on the other hand, it's just desert, just cold desert. Mountains are just naked. There's no trees, nothing, and it's quite amazing. And just standing on top of the monastery here like this, it just reminds me of Bhutan, because on every mountain, every cave, there's a hagong or there's a monastery. You know, just this spiritualness, this essence of Buddhism is in the heart of every Ladakhi, just like in Bhutan. So even though I'm in a strange land, I feel so home, which is very, very weird, but in a good way. And I'm quite blessed that some of the nays that you could never visit in Bhutan are here. And this is quite a pilgrimage, and this is just amazing, just breathtaking.
Before the sun sets across the barren mountains, there's one place that I have to visit. A place once lined with poplar trees, filled with lively markets and used as a flourishing trade center for a mix of all races of Asiatic people. Leh, the capital city, once was located at the crossroads of the most important trade routes. Being the epicenter of all trade in this region, the city collected taxes on goods from merchants from Turkestan, Tibet, Punjab, Kashmir, and Balkistan, which made Leh a very wealthy city. Leh Palace was built by King Sangye, literally meaning the Lion King. And a Lion King he was, and he is considered the greatest of all Ladakhi rulers. He ruled from 1616 to 1642. During his reign, he conquered many parts of the Tibetan plateau, and trade flourished along the Silk Route. He was also a dedicated patron to the Drukpa lineage. He would invite scholars from Bhutan to strengthen Drukpa Kagyu in Ladakh. After an impressively remarkable reign, the Lion King passed away after a war against the Mongols in 1642.
How can you come to Leh and not visit Leh Palace? Unfortunately, this palace is turned into a museum and cameras are not allowed. So I'm over here just looking at the palace and admiring it. And this palace was once a formidable, majestic palace of King Sangye Namgyal, commonly known as the Lion King. And this palace, I would imagine, was a perfect palace perched on the side of the hill, overlooking Leh city to rule over his subject. And wow, this palace is majestic. And folklore has it that the walls of the palace are so sharp that if you throw a yak from the roof, it cuts it in half. That's insane. And another folklore has it that the builder built this zong, and the zong was so majestic, the king didn't want any other zong looking like this. So he cut off his right hand. But the builder, with his still having the passion, the art of building, the architecture, he with his left hand, he built Hemis Monastery. So that's amazing. That's the folklore of it, which is very, very interesting. But just gazing upon the palace, it is amazing. A perfect place for a king to rule over his subjects. And amazing, just amazing.
The annual Drukpa Council continues in Hemis Monastery. People from all corners of Ladakh, as far as Nubra, have come here to pay tribute to His Holiness the Gelwa Drukpa and all the great masters.
So I'm here in the main Hemis Monastery, and I'm here waiting along with all the other Bhutanese who have come here to Ladakh.
and His Holiness Gyalwang Rinpoche is going to be meeting with us, and this is a special privilege, and I can't wait, and we're still waiting right now, and everybody has the same type of eager feeling inside them as they're getting prepared to meet Di Rinpoche, and I can't wait either.
The young people have to understand that the Buddhism is a life, is not an ism. That is very important, you know. If that is known as an ism, then you cannot really be sort of like a following, because you have to really transform yourself or change your lifestyle, which is difficult because they have their own lifestyle. So I think the first thing they have to understand is that the Buddhist teaching, or Buddhism so-called, is not ism. It is not very good way of saying. If you say Buddhism is not ism anyway. It is a teaching. It is a life, kind of a process of one's own development of one's own life, something like that. So it is not an ism at all. It is not a religion at all. So therefore one needs to really feel very comfortable, especially the youngsters. I think they need really to be feeling very comfortable with the Buddhist teaching, Buddhist Buddhist tradition. I think it's a way of life. Monastic education is very important for monastic people, monks and all these things. But for the rest of the world, monastic education is like a fanatic education, which is not at all important to my understanding, you know. But of course, maybe I'm wrong. But the education, what I'm talking about, is also not only English, not only Hindi, not only Urdu, you know, the language and all, computer and all these things are very important, yes. But really important, what we are really talking about, is how important the world is for you. That is very important. That is the education that you are talking about.
Today I'm heading towards the Druk Padma Karpo institution here in Shey, Ladakh, and this school is one of the must to see, and this school has a beautiful philosophy about their education and maintaining tradition. So I'm going to go explore. I'm going to meet a young boy who's going to show me around. So I'm very excited to see what this school is all about.
The Druk Pemo Karpo School, or the Druk White Lotus School, is one of a kind. It was founded by His Holiness the Gyalwang Drukpa. It is on the foothills of the Great Desert Mountains in the ancient capital city of Shey. It is a world-renowned school for its green architectural ability to adapt and survive in harsh conditions of a place like Ladakh.
The main objective of the school is to provide modern education to the children, but still be rooted in the Ladakhi culture and tradition. That is the main objective. So even, when we talk about modern education, we are talking about children learning how to think, problem solving, decision making, but at the same time it's very important that they do not forget their roots.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
This school educates the students to preserve their culture and identity. The school also equips students with modern education to keep pace with the rest of the world. Druk White Lotus School has provided quality education to Ladakhi girls and boys since September 2001.
Actually, we work on recycle also. That you have seen here, the cans are here. We have collected from the road, and it's like a now wind chime. And the stones they have collected from the field. They painted on it to make it colorful, and some other things, paintings are there, and some other materials with the rope, plastic bottle, paper, origami. Origami, I love origami. It's very much technical and mathematical. So I think the students will be helpful when they learn origami.
Selergani tolorda nalams kalan boshe yuli shalarbain.
This is your class?
Yeah.
Which one is your class?
My class is 4A.
4A?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Is there anybody in there? It's locked.
No.
The class is locked?
No, no.
No, it's not locked. Come show me your class. So this is your class then, Doji?
Yeah.
Where's your seat?
This one.
This is your seat?
Yeah.
Let's see.
This Buddhic. And this science.
Science.
English.
English. And this is your lunch?
Yeah.
This is your lunch?
Yes.
Ah, this is your lunch. Can I eat it?
Yes.
Huh? Yeah? You sure? Okay, fine. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Here, put it back.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Grow up llama.
You want to be a llama?
Yeah.
Ah, why?
Llama is very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
That's very, very good. Okay, come on.
Encouraged and intrigued by this whole system and the energy of the students, I hang around a little bit longer with these little champs. But like the whole of the Himalayan region, flash floods and unpredictable rain causes devastating landslides. Global warming is causing the glaciers to retreat and makes the whole region susceptible to sudden cloud outbursts, causing rapid flash floods. In 2010, this school was destroyed by flood, and many villages in Ladakh were also damaged, leaving hundreds of people dead and homeless.
The flood was devastating for the school, huge mudslide, and everything really, apart from the buildings themselves, was washed out, but the mudslide went through the buildings and an awful lot of renewal had to take place. And as you say, the landscape was part of that. Trees were washed away and it was devastating.
That was a very sad memory, I should say, because the school has suffered lots of destruction, damage, according to the flash flood, which came in on 6th August 2010. And before that, we have a small sort of a forest type right down there. So that was fully destroyed. And later on, we didn't lose our aspirations, and the supporters that we have coming from different countries, volunteers I should say, they really encouraged us, and then we managed to push up the things, and then now everything is back on the track.
Today, owing to hard work, perseverance, and the resilient spirit of the students and staff, the school is recovering. Environment is given the highest priority. Flowers are planted in the campus by the students, and the school also grows different vegetables. This exemplary school in the middle of nowhere in the world stands to teach us all a lesson.
From the vegetables, the seed from the vegetables, we'll be creating a huge mandala garden. And that will be a hub where children can learn about agriculture and learn about horticulture. And they will help with the whole planting and the harvest. And they will also then supply food to the school itself and to the wider community.
You must have seen outside every classroom there is a flower bed, and so the students themselves have designed that, and students themselves take care of that, or the students are involved in the plantations. So it's very important for them because they also realize how important it is, greenery, how important it is for Ladakh.
Roji, thank you very much for showing me around your school, okay?
Thank you.
I had so much fun with you.
Yes.
Your school is beautiful. You like your school?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I had so much fun with you.
Yes.
Okay. Now it's time to go, okay?
Yeah.
So give me a high five. High five. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Roji.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
You know, this main aim of the White Lotus School is quite very important, not just for the Ladakhis, also for the Bhutanese. It's an identity, just like Khamtrul Rinpoche himself has mentioned. It is the identity that makes who you are. If you don't have an identity, you're nothing. You could have the best education, and if you don't have an identity, you're nobody.
It is the last day of annual Drukpa Council, and what I have learned from this experience can never be measured up against anything in this world.
Members of Bhutan media, and when you go back to Bhutan, kindly take our message from the people of Ladakh that we all love you and we have been living together. We will always have good relations. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And to think that all these Rinpoches, Drukpa yogis and yoginis traveled thousands of miles to get here, prayed for hours every day for universal peace, is totally unbelievable. Together, trying to preserve the Drukpa lineage so that others can benefit is an extraordinary and an ultimate example of selflessness.
You know, the annual Drukpa Council is a wonderful thing because it gathers all the Buddhist nation to one place to pray for one thing, especially this year's theme of universal oneness. So this type of council should be held every year, and I think they will be. And it's a wonderful experience because all the Buddhist nation could come in under one roof and be one and think as one. And I'm really, really excited. I had so much fun, yet you know, this sense of spiritualness it's a wonderful thing. Really, really lucky to be in the crowd where the Venerable Rinpoches are present, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime moment, as I will always cherish this in my life.
I feel like I'm transported to a place of higher celestial beings, with their spiritual light illuminating and engulfing everyone in their presence. Basking in their light, I'm grateful, humbled, and feel like I too can be a better person. This enlightening sight and the message it embodies of universal oneness and complete selflessness, I will carry with me forever.
Love is in the air, exchanging glances, running through the field. Love is in the air, you know, as it gets colder, as the winter months starts appearing, as the chill is in the air. They move down further south towards more plains for the yaks to graze because, you know, it's a beautiful thing how codependent they are towards the yak. You know, they take care of the yak as if it's like their babies, you know, and it's a beautiful day today, and I can't wait to go to Pangong Lake, and it should be, I've heard the lake itself is so beautiful. It's crystal blue, this type of blue that, you know, that we have never seen before, so I can't wait, and this should be an amazing trip to Pangong Lake, and it should be truly amazing.
Pangong Lake takes about 5 hours drive, and one needs to get an inner line permit to visit. But I hear from everyone that it is completely worth it, so here we go. To think that a lake such as this sits on top of one of the highest deserts in the world seems utterly impossible. It is one of those things that you have to see it to believe it. Pangong is a long, narrow, enchanted lake and lies at more than 4,000 meters high, forming the border between India and China. It divides the eastern Karakoram and the western Tibetan highlands. The lake is 150 kilometers in length and altogether covers an area of 604 kilometers square. The locals say that it takes about 16 days on a horseback for a person to travel all the way around the lake.
So I'm finally here in Pangong Lake, my final destination here in Ladakh, and here my journey ends. And it's been such a grand journey. There was times where you felt really homesick. There was times when you see a view and the smile is right across your face, and that's what traveling is all about. And just the stark beauty of Ladakh, and especially here in Pangong, is unbelievable. Words can't describe it. It's almost as if a higher being just settled here and started painting, because it almost looks like a painting done by a higher being, and it's just unbelievable. Once in a lifetime, and this is what it is. And I'm so lucky to have experienced it and seen it, tasted it, drunk it, and you can't have such an experience nowhere else in the world.
The end of this journey may close a chapter on Ladakh, but when one chapter closes, another one is just beyond the mountains. As I rediscover myself and learn to appreciate my culture, along with my spiritual heritage, I feel a huge responsibility to continue this cycle of inspiration. And Ladakh surely inspires. The stark, unforgivable landscape challenges the human will to survive in the most harsh conditions of the world, and yet one can find a sense of beauty even in the mundane. The spiritual sentiments of the people seems to be projected on the eternal sky, as it is the purest shade of blue a person can lay their eyes upon. always in awe to the human ingenuity to harmoniously live with the environment, like the Druk Karpo school, setting an example in our ever-changing world. And when all the world-renowned master yogis and yoginis gather in one place, and that also on the rooftop of the world, meditating on universal oneness, I'm pretty sure their prayers can be heard in every nooks and corners of the world. With universal oneness in the mind, what better place to contemplate this sentiment than in this enchanting magical lake? And it couldn't be a better ending to my adventure of a lifetime. So until next time, in another magical place, perhaps, goodbye.